So the other day I was on IG and I caught Marcus Prastigard. And Marcus, I am so sorry, my friend, if I'm mispronouncing your last name. I sincerely apologize. Personally, I have to use my middle name as my last name because people have trouble with mine as well. So I feel your pain. But Marcus is a great player. I was watching him play some slide licks, but without a slide. Instantly went for my old copy of the 2007 Crossroads Guitar Festival, went right for the Derek Trucks tracks, eyes glued on him. Awesome player. Personally, I'm a terrible slide player myself. I used to play slide and I thought I was the it, and then I grew a set of ears and realized I was trash. I was trash. I was trash. So I gave up slide playing itself, but I've always tried to keep those techniques and that flavor in my playing and even improve that as time has gone on. So if you're in the same boat, if you want to add some flavor to your playing, just like a slide player would, this video is for you. We're going to take a lick, break it down, and think about it the way a slide player would. So let's start by playing the lick we're going to be breaking down today. And this is heavily inspired by Derek Trucks, other slide players, and that young guy I mentioned earlier, Marcus. Now this lick is in the key of B minor, and it sounds something like this. Now first off, you may notice the lick is fairly short, and that's important. Especially in Derek's playing, he kind of plays the way you would have a conversation, with short sentences and breaths in between. This is one of those short sentences where then you can take a very brief pause and move on to your next lick. For myself, I find if I'm getting a little too wordy in my playing, having too many notes running together with no phrasing, I'll specifically go back and listen to Derek Trucks. He puts me back into perspective and reminds me that short phrasing is really what makes quality playing. The second thing you may notice is that we're trying to be as fluid as we possibly can be here. Now, if you're playing actual slide, you could be infinitely fluid. There's nothing breaking up the fretboard at all. But for the rest of us, we have frets, individual intervals here and notes breaking up the fretboard. Now, we can accomplish that same kind of feel, or at least close to it, with a series of bends, slides, and trying to pick as little as we possibly can. When playing a lick like this, you want to imagine that you're actually holding a slide, or even better than that you're a quality vocalist and you're singing this lick. How would it sound then? Because I'll tell you what, it would not sound like this. Now those are all the same notes in the lick that we played earlier, but it's clearly not the same lick. It lost all the fluidity from before. We're just playing individual notes now. So to try and get back that nice smooth flow, that fluidity that we're talking about, I usually think about three key things. First, I try to plan out, can I play this lick mainly on one string? A second ago, we kind of just ran down a minor pentatonic box here on several strings. We don't want to do that. This lick we can mainly play on our G string. Let's try and map that out. So the only note that we can't catch on our G string is this low F sharp here. We have to catch that 4th fret on our D string, but everything else is all on one string. The second thing I think about is which of these notes can I bend up to? That's going to help that fluid flow. And I especially want to start the lick on a quality bend. It's going to kick things off really nicely. So the lick starts on an F sharp, which normally would be your G string 11th fret, but we don't want to play it there. We want to go 2 frets down from there, which is an E, G string 9th fret, and bend up a whole step. The second bend would be 2 frets down from there, which is a D, we're again bending up a whole step. And then towards the end of the lick, we're 1 fret down from there, a C sharp, bending up a half step before sliding down to complete our lick on a B. So we're kind of halfway there. We have things mapped out, we've got our bends that we can practice, but if we were just to play the lick as is, it would sound something like this. That's kind of cool, but it's not exactly what we're looking for. We want that little bit of extra fluidity. This is where the third and probably trickiest step comes in. We want to connect these bends with a series of slides. We don't want to pick in between them. That's going to make things sound a lot smoother. So let's kind of break the lick up in two halves. We'll take the first part here. Our first bend, the way we kick off the lick is right here, whole step bend. And as we relax that bend, we're not going to pick the second note. We're going to just slide down 2 frets and then bend up again to complete that whole step bend. And then slide down to our B to complete the first half of the lick. It sounds something like this. This is a really good technique to practice. A tricky one, to be sure, one that I'm going to have to practice probably till the end of time. For me, the trickiest part is that second bend there. After I slide down to that and bend back up, that's the one I usually find I'm the most inaccurate in. But as you keep practicing it, you're going to get better, and it's going to sound that much sweeter. Now let's take the second half of the lick and see what kind of techniques are involved there. So you may notice one key difference with this second part of the lick is that earlier I was playing most of my notes on my ring finger, whereas here I'm playing most of my notes, even this half step bend, on my pointer finger. There is a thought process to that. My ring finger is stronger, but by playing these notes down here mainly on my pointer finger, I can do them all in a series of slides, which will prevent me from picking in between or having to do a hammer-on in between any notes. Just makes it that much smoother. And practicing a bend with your pointer finger is also another good technique. It's something that I'm pretty used to. I've been doing it for quite some time. If you haven't practiced that as of yet, try it, because I think you'll really enjoy bending on your pointer finger. It leads to some really cool sounds. So we've got both halves of the lick kind of laid out. Let's play it all together and see what we come up with. This is definitely one of those things where it's a whole lot more fun to play it the faster you play it. But again, you may have to start out kind of slow, work your way up to a nice speed that you like. I think we did a fairly decent job at taking a standard guitar and giving it that slide player feel. If you're working on this lick or any other lick and you want to give it that slide feel, remember those key thoughts that we emphasized. Number one, pick short phrases and kind of split them up with nice pauses in between. Think in terms of sentences and breathing. And second, try to make your lick as fluid as you possibly can by playing most of it on one string, trying to map out bends and then connect those bends together with a series of slides to give it as smooth of a feel as you possibly can. Big thanks to Marcus for posting the clip that inspired this video. Be sure to check out some of his other stuff. Let me know in the comments below if you learned something new today, and if so, please tap that like button on your way out. I've been Joey. There's going to be more great videos coming up soon, so until next time, thanks so much and take care.